One thing about living in a different country is that you might have to find a new place anytime. I've been living in this house share for the last 6 months now, and for some reason, two of the housemates had to leave. So now I find myself in a peculiar position wherein even after living for 6 months, I have to leave the place and find a new one. But the thing is, it's actually nobody's fault. So how did it all happen? I'll tell you after I board the train. So when you are a student, you most probably live in a university accommodation, and during that time it's all hunky-dory. It's all very chill. The rent, it's very minimal. You don't get to pay utility bills. There's nothing like council tax or anything of that sort, and you don't have any responsibilities. The only responsibility you have is of your own room. As long as you are able to keep your room not even tidy, don't damage your room. As long as you don't do that, you're good to go. But that heaven lasts only for 1 year. After 1 year, if you still want to stay in UK or any country for that matter, but since I'm from UK, I'll tell you about UK. You have to move out and you have to start looking for a place on your own. Now, for that, again, if you're not very rich, if you are someone like me who can't afford to rent an entire place by himself, you would want to live in a house share. Now, that house share would mean that you would have at least 4 or 5 people that you're going to share the entire house with. So what they do is, as an individual, don't get a house. There are many landlords who have bought houses and they put it for rent. Now that entire house is for rent, not just one room. So what they do is they hire an agency. Agency could find tenants for each room or give a house to a bunch of like 4 or 5 people, and then that house rent gets divided into those 4 or 5 people. The landlord doesn't care about what kind of people that are getting in. All they worry about is that they get rent in by the end of every month, which is the entire house rent. That's one way to go. The second way is that they find tenants for each room separately. Now in that case, you are liable for only that one room. Every person is liable for their own rooms. In my case, that's exactly what happened. I used to live in a house of 4 people, and the smallest room was mine because I was the last one who actually opted for that house. But then I was paying a little less than the rest. Now, the tenancy contract is in such a way that you either finish or complete the contract, or if someone chooses to break the contract before the others, then they have to find a replacement. Now, in my case, what happened was out of 4 people, 2 people left the house. One person got the job someplace else, so they had to leave, and the other person just left. Like, they didn't give us any notice and they just left, and one day they suddenly said that I'm no longer going to be living there. Now in that scenario, the agency and the landlord has 2 options. Number one, the remaining tenants, which is me and the other person, either we pay the rent for the entire house, because like I said, they don't care about individual's condition. All they care about is that the entire house's rent gets paid. So that's one scenario, that's one option that they gave us. The second option that they gave us was that they are going to cancel all our contracts and we have to find a separate place. Now, since this particular agency was really nice and really kind to us, and they could understand that it was not really our fault, like we still wanted to stay there, what they did was they gave us a third option. The third option was, if we are able to find replacements for those 2 tenants, our contract won't be voided. So that's the third option they gave us. Now, we are all professionals, like we work 5 days a week at least. So it was really hard for us to find new replacements by ourselves. We tried that for the first month, but we couldn't. Now, what happens is the eviction notice lasts for 2 months, right? So what the agency said was that you can start looking for it now, and you can keep on doing it till the end of March, which is when our eviction notice ends. So either do that or you all have to go. Now, we have been looking for new tenants for the last 1 month, from end of Jan to end of Feb, and still we couldn't find anyone, probably because of the time. Like right now, people who were willing to relocate or who were willing to move out of their current accommodations, they have already found a place. March is something like that. So the agency recently just messaged us that the date is ending, so the eviction notice is coming to close really soon. So either find it yourself, find the new tenants yourself, or we'll find it for you. Now, if they start looking for it themselves, then our contract will be voided, and a new contract will be formed. So there's high possibility that the two guys, the two people who are still living in the apartment, we also won't have any place to stay. So this is the condition that I'm living in right now. Now, which is why I have to, even after only living there for 6 months, I have to now find a new place. I have to go through the entire problem of finding a new place again, and that too only after living in my new place for only 6 months. Now that's something that you don't expect, right? But for anyone who is going to come to UK, I think this is one thing that you need to know. Since you're not in India, since you're not in your home country, since you're not living with your parents, there's a high chance that you would have to face similar issues again and again. So be ready for it, be prepared for it. And for all the new students who are coming in or who have already came this February or who are planning to come in UK, come to UK this September, let me know if you have any questions. Just post them in the comment section below and I'll answer as many questions as possible as soon as possible. Cheers. Bye bye. And wish me luck too, bro. I mean, I'm gonna be homeless soon. I need your wishes. See ya.